What is good, guys? It's your boy Ray J back with another video, and in this video, I'm going to be doing a quick technical analysis of Tesla. I'm going to talk about what the mainstream media is saying about Tesla before I give you guys my stock price prediction for next week. I'm also going to be doing the exact same thing about Neo. I'm going to talk about Neo, the price movement, what the media is saying as well, before I give you guys my stock price prediction for Neo as well. Now, before I get started with anything else, I do have to mention that I'm not a financial legal or taxation expert, so do not take this as financial legal or taxation advice. And also, if you can, please smash that like button if you want to see more videos like this. Not about me, but benefits the entire community as a whole. So, with that said and done, guys, look at the 1 day, 1 minute chart. We can see that Tesla had quite a bit of volatility for the day, and it was kind of a sideways day. It just jumped between levels of resistance and levels of support. It was just bouncing back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And there were some moments where we saw Tesla being a little bit overbought, but I wouldn't even say it was overbought. It just showed quite a bit of strength, which is a good sign because relative to where it was before, it's still doing well, and the RSI actually shows that. Now, is Tesla trading sideways? And it has been on quite a bit of a channel, just bouncing back and forth and back and forth. But look at the 1 month chart, okay? And this is very significant. Tesla is doing very well right now compared to where it was a month ago. I mean, 1 month ago, it reached a low of $708 a share, and we did reach a high of $799, right below 800. Now, for the 1 day chart, guys, we can see that Tesla did bounce. It started off at a high of $780.78. It dropped to $762.59 and just went back and forth and back and forth. But it gained a little bit of leverage when its level of support began to rise. And that just has to do with the buying pressure, as the upper band on the RSI is showing more and more buying pressure right over here. And it wasn't perfectly aligned with the overall price movement, which just shows that a lot of people were buying. And it did have quite a good closing. So let's remove the RSI and look at a Bollinger Band just real quick. Real quick, I'm just going to look at this. So once again, showing the chart, high volatility, guys. Anytime it went up, it was about one standard deviation away from the mean price. It had many significant moves, but the closing, if I zoom in all the way over here, it closed a little bit above, a little bit above the mean price. So it had a pretty good closing, and the Bollinger Bands reflect that as well, as it closed quite high. So it did close like quite well and in a very, very strong manner, but it was overall in the red, and that's nothing to be concerned about, guys. We're not down 1%, we're not down 2%, we're not down 10%, we're down 0.03%. It's almost nothing. We did amazing, and we're still doing great. So, what do I see happening, and what is my stock price prediction? Well, before I get there, guys, let's go over what the mainstream media is saying. So, Tesla is doing well, and overall, it did trade a little bit sideways, but there were some bad and good pieces of news that came out. One of them is the fact that a stubborn vehicle fire destroys a Tesla in Townsend. And yeah, Tesla did catch on fire, but it wasn't necessarily because of what ended up happening. The fire escalated to fully involved within 5 minutes, and the firefighters said that they used portable extinguishers, but the foam unit from the fire department's hazmat unit was deployed, and it required lots and lots of wire to basically stop the Tesla from burning. But the cause of the fire is not 100% known from what I saw. They do say that it may have involved leaking fluids, but that's not 100%, confirmed. And there was a crash that played a role, and there was just a small fire, so maybe that played a role in the price going a little bit down, but probably not a huge role because this was not making headlines. It was also noted that Rivian's R1T electric pickup is the first drive from the Lucid Air production, and that Tesla's FSD, or full self-driving beta, is also coming out. So there's a lot of information coming out about these things, and that's the fact that Rivian has a pickup coming up, and it's going to be compared definitely with the Tesla Cybertruck. And I mean, I have nothing else to say, guys. I think Rivian is a fairly good company, no hate to it, and Lucid Air is amazing too. I mean, if you look at its 520-mile range, if you look at its capabilities, its horsepower, it's a great car. But once again, I don't want to compare that to a Tesla. Teslas are also amazing cars too. So I think Lucid's great. I think Teslas are great, and Tesla has that brand model that a lot of cars don't really have, and it's a huge brand. And its full self-driving is showing a lot of technology, especially with the new version coming out. And it's just doing quite well. So this was mentioned in a podcast according to Electrek, and that is some good news. Now, looking at another piece of news, it was noted that Nikola's ridiculous $2 billion Tesla semi lawsuit might go away in a few days. And that's a good sign for Tesla, because Nikola appears to be finally letting go of its ridiculous $2 billion lawsuit against Tesla, claiming that Tesla stole its design, this and that. And I don't know, maybe it's true, maybe it's not. I mean, the thing is, all semis, you could argue that all semis look just like this. So is it really safe to say that Tesla just copied it? I mean, it looks kind of different. I mean, you could see the back part over here where the wheels are. You could see the front wheel; it's very different. The bumper looks different. I mean, you could argue that any pickup truck looks similar to this, any semi truck. Um, yeah, I just think it looks very different. So it's really hard for me to say that it's plagiarized, but they're probably going to drop this lawsuit. I just think that's a ridiculous, ridiculous claim. Anyways, getting on with it, it was also noted, and this is a big piece of news, that with help from Tesla, nearly 80% of Norway's new car sales are electric. And that's absolutely huge, not just for Tesla, but the EV sector as well. And they're planning to be one of the first countries out there to switch fully electric by the year 2025. They want to end the sale of petroleum and diesel, which I think is a good sign for us. Norway is looking for a zero tax policy that's going to change their center left winners by the end of the month. Now, that's big news for NEO as well and other companies. So, overall, this was a pretty good week. So, looking at Tesla from a technical standpoint, I think Tesla had quite a bit of a pretty good week. Overall, it just basically jumped back and forth and back and forth. And if you look at the past month, and I want to show you guys this again. We're still on this upward trend, and I do believe that the upward trend is going to continue. Now, when you look at the 5-day chart once again, you can see that we had strong resistance at 799. And I do think we're going to test this next week. So for my prediction for next week, I think we're going to be a lot higher than 775. We should be in the 780s, which is where we close, maybe the 790s, and we may even come close to breaking past 800. But I don't think Tesla's going to close above it just yet. It may take a little bit more time now. Just because I'm not like telling you that Tesla's going to explode overnight, that doesn't mean I don't believe in Tesla. Tesla's a long-term play. It's going to require patience. Patience is a virtue. Give this thing time. And I do believe in Kathy Wood's prediction of $3,000 by 2025. Now, looking at the other big piece of news for the day, let's look at NEO. And looking at how NEO was, it was down 0.7% for the day, which was pretty weird. It had this big run up leading up to its delivery data, which caused it to drop just slightly. And this is common when NEO has great pieces of news. The stock price still drops. I'm not even surprised from this point. NEO had quite a bit of volatility with Tesla as well, very similar to it, but it did close in the red, down at $35.38. So no matter what this company does, this company could literally solve cancer and it's still going to be in the red. I don't know what to say, but I kid you guys not, that's just a joke because I do believe in the future the stock price is going to pick up. Just right now, it has been trading sideways for a long time. But here was what was reported. NEO doubles its Q3 EV sales despite the chip shortage. Xpeng Li Auto says nearly triple. It's absolutely huge. Their sales absolutely exploded. For all of Q3, NEO sold 24,439 electric vehicles, doubling year over year and beating its lowered September 1st target of 22,500 to 23,500. So they literally broke their top projection by over 1,000, and that's a good sign. They did higher than Xbox. They did better, about the same as Liar, if not better. And it's so awesome that Neo is doing well. It's doing extremely well. Their Q3 sales were amazing. Yet the price is going down. And the ES8 is now the first car to be sold in Europe. You guys cannot forget about that. The first electric car. And they're getting ready for some big, big, big news. The SUV, the ES8 SUV, may be one of the first electric cars to be sold in Europe, is what I was trying to say. But it's not the first. I think this article is a little bit misleading, but hey, it's okay. So NEO is doing well. They had good numbers, and maybe it's because they weren't as high as maybe Li Autos. Maybe that's why. Maybe it's because a lot of people were maybe people expected it to be even higher. People expected it to be at 25 to 30 to 30,000, I don't know, sales per month. And they're getting they're getting closer. Okay, the past quarter they've gotten closer, and they're still a baby of a company. So overall, I am super bullish for NEO in the long term. I do think that in the near term, we could see NEO come back by next week to up as high as $37, hitting that level of resistance, closing above 36. It should be happening quite soon, but it's dependent on the overall market and it depends on what the market sentiment is. So, once again, guys, when I do give predictions which may not make you too happy, remember Tesla and NEO are for the long term. Think about where you're going to see Tesla in two, three, four, 5, 10 years from now. Think about where you're going to see Neo in 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years as well. Neo can easily break 100 within the next year and a half. I do believe it, but it's going to take time. It's going to require patience, and it requires you to never ever give up. So thank you so much for listening. Have a great rest of the day, guys. Have a great weekend, and I'll definitely see you on the next one. Thank you and peace out.